Started off with was the thing that me, you, and Kelly was talking about the other day about how you got the blackish cadence because you got mixed kids. And Brandon told a story, and this is funny to me. Like when he went to school in Columbia, Charleston, right? That's where he started. Columbia. Columbia. Yeah. And he was in a class where he was like one of the only white kids, like all his predominantly black school. Yeah. And then he remembers that it jarred him when he went to school here. Yeah. And it was mostly white. It tripped him out because to him that wasn't normal. Yeah, like it was a culture shock for real. Because like as soon as I got whenever I was in Columbia, you know what I mean. Like when I looked around the classroom, it was like me and maybe one other kid that was white that was in the class with me. And then whenever I moved down here, after I went to school up there a few years, I came down here and then it was like the exact opposite. It was like every kid was white with like one or two black kids that was in the classroom.
So what school did you come down here and go to? Like what grade?
JC.
What grade?
Second grade.
Second grade.
So he remembers that as younger, and the reason I bring that up is because Brandon's got obviously especially when you get around him, he's got a blackish. That's cool. That's what he is. The reason I bring that up is because of you being a Yankee and the way you talk, and it was a real interesting conversation we're having about how y'all two like when y'all started talking to each other, like the bridges you like when you talk to him on the phone when y'all met face to face.
No, just text.
Just text.
Yeah.
So when you went down in person, you didn't hear his voice or nothing?
No, I didn't know.
And you didn't hear her voice? You didn't know how she talked either? Uh-huh. All right, so y'all's first time talking, would you, the way because I was Southern cornbread fed. I know how it sounds on the internet.
My white cadence.
Your northern white cadence, and he presented himself and because his Southern accent does not dominate his Blackish accent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he leans into that Blackish accent.
He leans into it.
Did you watch any of his shit on Facebook?
No, I didn't even know he rapped at all.
No, you never heard his voice, nothing like that.
No.
And so I just wanted, because of the word, because the last thing she talked about and stuff, I was just wondering what, like the words and her, like, what was the first thing that you noticed about, like, when it comes to, because you said it the way you talked it deterred you, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it deters me now because he says things that I don't know. But like, yeah, no, didn't, yeah.
It's just weird. I just want to know how a Yankee, like, you got the freaking what is it, Michigan accent or whatever that is, Midwest accent, and his cadence. I was just wondering, like, how that's just weird. Those two type of people just click as fast as y'all two did. You know what I'm saying?
We still haven't clicked. We're still trying.
So I just want to know, because what was it, the word, like, what was it we came up with y'all's words, saying the sayings y'all had, wait, what was it
Well, he likes to say things incorrectly, and then I like to correct him. But then he will sing me the lyrics of a rap song that used it like that, as if that took it. He said, he said earlier, he was like, I took in that, and I was like, it was taken. Like, nothing's ever taken. And then he starts singing
that rap. Not represent the South, but I
never said no, that's why he's wanted.
I didn't say I took in that. I said he got taken.
Yeah, and then I was like, that's not.
But people saying I
But have you ever heard the song? He said,
oh, I see, and then he starts singing.
That shit says that
your shoes, coat, and your hat took him.
So it doesn't make it proper English.
I don't think it's
technically a word. You know what I'm saying?
You remember what started the conversation we had? What started was you say we say cut lights off.
Yeah, I don't say
cut it out.
No, it's turn off the lights. Turn them off.
Cut them off.
Yeah.
Not cut anything.
Cut the lights off.
No. And I say pop instead of.
Oh yeah, of course you say pop.
I say pop.
Of course.
That sounds like a little kid though.
Yeah, my cousins in Michigan, when they would come down, they say pop, and I hated it.
Sorry, that's mine.
But
it's just like, I want pop. What kind of fucking pop you want?
So when you met him, and he started talking to you, because I know he was rubbing his hands and talking big gang, probably. First thing. That's what he does to all the girls.
Let's talk about all the girls.
Well, there's only one now.
That's right.
Yeah. So I was just wondering what was the hardest thing to get over that he does, the way he speaks? Or what was the one thing you'd get?
Especially now, probably the way he talks.
Didn't really, I mean, like, because honestly, whenever him and I are by ourselves, it's almost like he has a whole different, like, it's like he turns it all off, and then he's just breathing. Just be.
So he's just throwing all the time to everybody else?
Yes.
Okay.
He's just always in character. He's always he's always on the
character.
All right, now, Brandon, what about her? When she opened her mouth and started speaking, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
Hilarious.
Say that again.
So funny.
Yeah. Now we had a good time the first night, man. We couldn't, you know what I'm saying. That night we couldn't for some reason. But no, we had a good conversation and everything. But yeah, like as far as like cadence and stuff, like you know what I'm saying. I mean, it was kind of indifferent, I guess. But I mean, you know what I'm saying. I thought it was kind of hot. I thought. It was kinda
Like you was dating a foreigner or something. Why he's talking out that's the front.
I mean, he's a little bit.
Or he's hiding it up.
His voice is a little deeper than what it is usually.
I get a little excited. I start getting a little more higher.
Yeah, and he throws out so many corny dad jokes. For me,
But you love him. Though.
So it ain't necessarily where his rural sense of where he's at. It's just the personality that he is in general.
Yeah, and I mean,
because he's corny.
So it's corny. I was like, he's corny.
No.
You find it funny.
Sometimes he thinks I find it funny.
She finds it hilarious.
He really finds it hilarious. He can't stop laughing at him.
That's how I know she thinks it's funny.
I usually roll my eyes. Talk about his official dad business. Sometimes it's even funny.
I ain't gonna talk about people right here.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I won't ever draw their names.
I'm saying, but she's a Yankee, and Steven, they got a child together, and she's been out here. But look how she acts. Like, look how she acts compared to.
You were born. She was born in Louisiana.
Okay.
Talk about her.
On an air.
I know, but
The Air Force Base. Like northern people.
Yeah,
Both being a Yankee.
Yeah. And
grits.
no, God.
you're a Yankee.
Yeah.
You drink whiskey?
Oh God, yeah. I make pictures of it all the time. Yeah.
Okay. Do you eat oatmeal?
Yes.
No grits.
Poor thing.
No
You
grits.
prefer oatmeal?
Oh yeah.
You like oatmeal?
Yeah, you like oatmeal.
Like
there.
But you won't try grits. Or you...
I have tried them before. They have never tasted anything edible. And so, like, I just
My
have
uncle
not.
married somebody from Michigan, and he brought her down here to marry her in Myrtle Beach. And when he did,
No.
she ate grits for the first time, but she put syrup in her grits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. See, I don't.
What was in your grits? Yeah.
I just remember it having like butter. Just maybe butter and salt and pepper. So I don't know.
Okay, that's classic grits.
And I'm just like, fucking no, thanks.
What? Put cheese in them and everything.
See, and everybody said like you haven't eaten them right, and I'm like,
Now if you have butter, salt, and a lot of pepper, you ain't them right.
I mean, and I don't know.
Oh, yeah, cook right.
I tried it when I was a kid, so if I wouldn't be opposed.
You haven't tried
to
it anytime recently.
No, I wouldn't be opposed.
Grits.
I mean, I think I did as a kid, and maybe that's what turned me on. I don't know. Especially if, like, Gordon Ramsay fixed them. I know he makes things with grits.
Bagels or biscuits?
I mean,
You're going to say bagels, right?
Yeah.
no, I do. I would prefer biscuits. I do.
But
But I also like bagels.
You a cream cheese person?
I am a cream cheese person.
I like cream cheese and bagels too, though.
Mhm.
I mean, I can't doubt it.
But I make amazing biscuits and gravy, so...
I don't know, like northern dishes, like stuff they eat up there that we don't eat. What is something they eat up north?
You know they don't have Bojangles up there?
Oh my God, no, we don't. Nothing.
Yeah, we used to send my Uncle Stevie a package,
we don't have
thing
any,
of biscuits and shit from Bojangles every year for Christmas.
Yep.
And we'd have to, like, put it in this heat thing so that they would still be warm whenever he got it.
I'd take like half a dozen Bowberry biscuits back up to Iowa whenever.
That's okay.
Yeah, they don't have, like, shit like that. Like,
What's Reuben sandwiches? That's what's popular up there?
I mean, like, you can find a Reuben. I mean, like, it's a pretty standard, like, sandwich or whatever, but, like, I'm trying to think of what's, like...
What's a hoagie? That's popular up there?
Just a sub.
I
mean, we have, like, sub.
That's all it is?
We have, like, Jersey Mike's and, like, shit like that in Subway.
and they sell pizza by the slice everywhere.
How do we make a hot dog?
Sauerkraut.
A lot of people like kraut. Yeah.
What do you like on your hot dog?
Me personally, I like chili cheese and mustard and onion.
That's good.
Yeah, that's decent. That's a good one.
That's on it.
Yeah.
I feel like I was a little bit approved just then. When you guys were like, all right, she's not completely.
How about the barbecue? Wait a minute.
There's a
barbecue.
right here. Barbecue cheese.
Well, I mainly.
Vinegar? You got vinegar in your barbecue?
I mean, not usually, but I like that kind of barbecue sauce. I grew up mainly in North Carolina, so I had like we had several barbecue places. I really like barbecue.
Do you pour your sauce on it, or is the sauce already cooked into it?
So, well, whenever we'd smoke meat, when I lived in Iowa, we usually just did a dry rub, over it, and then once it was ready to just shred apart, then we put sauce on, a little sauce, and and then people added
Was
more.
it vinegar based or mustard?
It wasn't either.
Well,
I'm actually quite a chef.
Well,
but
if they cooked it with vinegar, they would have had. She would smell the vinegar all through the house, all through the yard.
yeah, it wasn't a vinegar or a mustard base. It was like,
you said a dry rub, but
yeah, there was a dry rub, and then the actual well, see, my ex-husband did a lot of the smoking of meats and stuff, and he usually did like or I would kind of dish up like fancy up something that like cookies like barbecue sauce, or like Sweet Baby Ray's.
Use barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I don't think you had that.
Sweet Baby Ray's.
Sweet Baby
We
Ray's.
have Sweet Baby Ray's.
That's Southern and all that.
Yeah.
And so he used something like that.
He his own. He tweaked it.
Yeah, I would tweak the sauce. Yeah.
What is one thing you miss from up there that we don't have down here?
Menards.
What is Menards?
Menards, it's a hardware store. It's like Lowe's except so much better. And they just have, I don't know, Menards is...
Oh, she's smiling so sweet.
It's like, I was like, Menards is just so convenient.
She's smiling because she got so happy talking about Menards.
Well, because I remember we picked up some cabinets from some chicks that were like 20 minutes away, and they were both from Wisconsin, which is right above Iowa. And so then they were talking about all the issues that they're having with these cabinets that they just ordered from Lowe's. And I was like, oh man, I miss Menards. And they were like, oh my God, Menards! And then they like freaked out, and we all just like sat there and regaled about.
So that's a big chain up north, must be.
Yeah, it's just a hardware.
Shout out Menards.
Yes, Menards. Everybody down here like,
Lowe's.
what did you just
That was
say?
the first thing.
We had Lowe's too, but
Menards was so much better.
Menards is where it's at. Yeah. And so I miss that.
That's it?
No, I mean there's people that I miss and stuff.
Well, besides the people.
Yeah, I mean I'm trying to think of like what
Do you
else.
miss the weather?
Fuck no.
Did you ever like travel south to watch the fall leaves change, like they portray on TV and shit? Like a thing like on TV. That's the first thing I can remember is like they portrayed. I watched the episode. It must have been fucking Family Guy. Or
people shit.
Them like all the Northerners come down to watch the leaves change colors.
No,
They have
that's
better leaf change up there.
I
Yeah,
don't.
that's what old people do.
It feels like it just goes from like hot to cold, like up in Iowa, and it's not hot very long.
You didn't have a lot of like you
What's
didn't
the
have
coldest it's ever been?
like several months of snow or nothing
Negative
like that.
30s.
So you had several.
Oh my god.
You used to like snow be on the ground for
For
months
and months. Yeah,
How
I
did you
hate.
How did
Yeah.
you get through that?
Well, I mean, whenever it's like in the negative 30s, like that's when school shut down. I mean, like there was like a blizzard that I was driving through, and school was open. Didn't even
What
like.
the fuck were you doing driving to it?
Well,
That's-
I had to get my
that's
son's
worse.
birthday cake. It was like this past January, whenever I was in Iowa.
North snows on the like up.
All the time. I mean,
Yeah, I know that.
Huh?
yeah, in the negative 30s is when when it gets into the negative like that. That's when they close schools. So like a week after I left Iowa and came back here, the schools were closed the whole next week because it was in the negative. Because with wind chill, it was. I mean, I think it was like in the negative teens, but then with wind chill, it was like in the negative 30s or 40s the whole week.
So negative 0 is a normal day.
I mean,
Negative 0 degrees is a normal day up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, in the
Oh, I love
30s,
it.
it's like warm. It's like a perfect like winter day.
30 degrees is
Oh, I
great
love
weather.
It is amazing. Yeah, whenever I came back down here, I mean, it was like I think in the 40s or something, and I didn't even have a jacket on, and I was like, "This is where it's at, buddy." And everybody's like,
It's fucking-
"Where's your coat?"
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
fucking
like,
cold,
"You
yeah.
guys don't
Yeah, that's
even
cold.
know," because I mean, I left
I love
there;
it,
it's
though.
freezing. Yeah.
I don't like our summers. I don't like them.
Living in snow like that.
I was mowing my sister's lawn in February down here, whereas like I wouldn't even have to wouldn't be able to cut the grass.
You wouldn't be able to go outside at negative 30.
Yeah, no, I mean it's dangerous. That's why they won't let kids go to school. But I don't think I mow the grass in Iowa until like late May for the first time. Like because like
So
one.
you got extremely short summers.
Yeah.
Like temperature wise.
Yeah.
Okay, out of all the places you've lived, where's your most favorite?
So I've lived in Louisiana, Texas, and then North Carolina, West Virginia. That was my least favorite. And then back to North Carolina, and then Iowa, and then down here. I don't know. The people, are nice in Iowa. I mean, like, and it's okay. There's a slower pace to life down here.
Yeah, so that's what I was going
And
with.
that was pretty difficult to get used to because I'm like, let's keep it going, not like in a rude way, but just like going to a store and like two people ahead of me are talking to the cashier and they have no sense of urgency at all. And I'm like, what the actual?
She that camera stopped, but she hand me that battery over there, Brandon. She said small talk was
Yeah, they have no hospitality. Like,
she said she said it's kind of inconvenience. Like when people talk up north, they talk about what they're talking about. Like
no fluff.
No fluff in the conversation. That's right.
It's just get to it because it's considered. I mean, I consider it good customer service not to have the fluff because you're making that person wait, or the people behind them. It's bad customer service for everybody else who's waiting. So being efficient and quick and direct is good customer service.
Like how we down here, we'll sit here and we'll make small talk and have a conversation. Like and it's actually like I go to a
I understand where she's going from. Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Nice day. They don't give a fuck to ask about the weather.
I don't. I hate small talk.
Like,
That's why I did not
And
do
see,
well.
down here, like,
dating
we're
sites.
supposed to say, hey, how you doing? We're supposed to make the small talk with the customers. Like, we're taught that in fast food.
Well, and like, yeah, and like, yes, it's show that interest while you're there, but like, don't let it slow you down, you know?
Oh, no, never.
What I've noticed down, and it's not nothing about people up north, but up north, I've dealt with some people that I work with. Like, there's a new guy that works with me now. And sometimes he'll talk, and he's not meaning to be rude or nothing. It's just the way he talks. But the way it comes across to me, and I know it's just our way of talking. It sounds like I had to stop him. Like, is he being an asshole? And I'm like, no, he's not. It's just the way he is. You know,
Yeah. Abrasive, like he can come off kind of.
Well,
abrasive.
my uncle gets like that when he has his Yankee accent on. But when he gets down here and he's down here for like a day, that full-on Southern accent comes
that
back
twang
out.
comes back. See,
Yeah,
I
it
never.
comes straight out.
I mean, I like I said, from the time I was in
But he's an asshole.
4th grade until I was like 20, I lived in North Carolina, like right above the South Carolina
So
line.
what's your favorite, though?
I mean, probably one of the Carolinas.
Y'all or you guys?
You guys.
Yeah, she don't.
Of course, it's you guys.
Unless it's something important, like a dramatic story, and then it's dude.
Dude.
Even to my mom, I'm like, dude.
Okay.
You like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. What was the like down here, Southern sayings like I know this ain't a popular one, but I remember my 6th grade teacher instead of cussing, she'd say, "Oh, Peter Rabbit." I don't know why she said that. Yeah, I mean, that might be a thing. Like Southern sayings, like I don't know any Northern sayings. Nothing. Like, what is one thing to Northern people? Well, besides the New York talk, hey, you guys, and
or yeah, the Boston and the Jersey, how they talk. What is it? How do they say it?
I'm not trying to do it.
I can't do it.
I mean, like, there's just
impressions.
I don't really think Iowa's known for anything. You know, like Wisconsin.
I was known for Slipknot.
Whatever accent you got, whatever it is what I hear when
it's Yankee.
Not in Rhode Island, like a Rhode Island type thing, because I have all the people I've interacted with, customers and people, and it's been Iowa, Wisconsin, Rhode Island, the states like those states. They don't sound the same to me. And I don't know what. Maybe it's my own ignorance.
From here that is not us in like the southern states. We're gonna think it sounds the same.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, besides like somebody with a French accent or something like that, we're gonna think it sounds the same.
Well, we don't sound nothing like the Cajun people. Like,
we're not Cajun.
Like North Dakota,
like
North Dakota, you know, like I worked with some people, and they were like, "Don't you know?" You know, like they have that
like the Canadian accent.
Yeah, but that's like it's specific to that region. You know, like
but we're talking about.
Yeah, Canadian shit.
That's And so, but I don't know if I don't know. I mean,
so all that, I was just like, so all that, you dealt with all these different types of people. How was it to deal with Branden? And obviously, that was nothing.
Well, I mean, I guess, like, yeah, when we talk now, I don't really, and maybe it's just because he's like so. Like not
because you said about the dragging out and stuff like that. Nobody drags out talking. He takes his time. Is that cut off?
He talks a lot.
Yeah, but when he talks, it's Branden, at least when me and you talk, he takes his time with
yes,
it.
He sure
does. I'm the one that talks like fast as lightning. A lot of
he doesn't react either. Like whenever we were riding in the car, he'd be in the front seat with Trey or some shit, and Trey would be like this, and then the car would make a noise or some bullshit. Branden would just I was like, did I just hear that? And I jerk. Branden would just calmly look up and look over.
He's like, yo, but you got
that didn't sound good, man.
Yep.
Did you hear that? And Trey's like, yep, that didn't sound good. They just kept riding. I'm like, okay, well, I guess everything's okay. I would always watch for Branden's reaction to see if I needed the panic or not.
That's maybe not the best approach, but yeah, no,
if it was real concerning, he would speak up. But if it wasn't too concerning, I knew not to.
He does. He gives so much detail in every story too, because he's
Okay,
I've learned
Branden,
so much.
What story should we get him to tell us?
I don't know anything about his like childhood. Like he will tell me so many details, and I at the end I just want to be like, let me stop you right there, okay?
'Cause you
We
know-
didn't need half of that.
But you
to
know,
still know.
You had to get to the
And I was like, I didn't need to know that. That was just
you know a lot
saying
of
Let's segue into this.
you know a lot about Tupac now because of
so much about Tupac, and I didn't.
And she still ain't watched Juice.
Yeah, I was supposed to, and I started to, and then I
Disappointing.
turned it off because I had other stuff to do.
Tell them a story about when you edited the videos back in the day.
Talking about videos I used to do with Steve and them.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Back in the day, I used to have it was just like a little camera, like a VCR camera. You know what I'm saying? Where you had the VCR tape in it.
Shout out to the very first video I saw, Branden Best. It was one of the funniest things I ever saw. As he walked in there with a freaking house phone, like the old school house phones. It's like, I'm gonna make this phone disappear, and he obviously just paused the camera and then
like,
threw it and then restarted because he's like,
I dream of
and
genius.
he's gone. It's just funny.
That's what I'm saying. He said he's been doing this shit for years.
I had to figure out how to do that shit because like I ain't had no editing, you know what I'm saying, no way to edit like that. The way I would do it, I would pause and like, you know what I'm saying, so I had everything on and like you said, I had the phone or whatever. And every time I went to try to make it disappear, like I would have to stand completely still in one spot and then I would be like pause and then I would like, throw the hat off and whenever I hit unpause and I had to act surprised like my hat was gone. And then I'd click pause again, you know what I'm saying, and try to hold that position.
Do it all at one time.
Yeah, doing it all at one time like that. And then by the time I got done, you watch it back, and it was just the cuts in between like that, you know what I mean?
Yep. And now,
That's old school
now
shit.
you can do it all with a phone.
Yeah, now you can do it all. AI can do it for you. You don't have to do nothing.
Yeah, that shit.
So that one, okay, so Branden, story about, give us a childhood story, because that's what she said. Give us a childhood story with great detail. Let's think of one. Let's think of a good childhood story you got. Let's talk. Shoot, I don't know any.
I don't know.
I don't know anything with
Oh, dude, she loves talking about
BJ and Steve-O and Stevie the nippler.
She calls Stevie his head. We're not saying their last names. Okay.
Okay, so his name rhymes with BV, if that's how you want to do it.
I said last names. It's first name.
Yeah, I know, but is it fine? I mean, are they gonna?
I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I really don't.
That's why I say give them nicknames.
But it depends what you're about to say about the person.
Yeah.
His first rap beef. And my brother loves this. My brother loves this rap beef with him.
Philip, why don't you come over here and join?
Yeah, no, he's like, nah. He can though. Phil, tell us about Branden's first rap beef. What did you when you heard about it?
Oh, man, it was great, dude. They were going after girls, and I was very impressed. Stevie.
Is this between two white dudes?
More producer kind of wannabe stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they went blood for blood. I can't remember what year that was.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man.
A long time ago.
Hell yeah.
But UFC's fine now, though, right?
Shit,
You've been out the rap game.
I mean, I ain't got no problems with Stevie, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I ain't hollered at him in a long time. I ain't talked to him in a long time.
He likes to throw grenades and then just walk
Who?
away. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Like, I'm fine with him. I don't know how he feels about
But
it.
yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
No.
He ain't want to say nothing bad. He's like, Trey's gonna put this on his channel.
I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I ain't got no problem with him or nothing. So
You ain't got no problems with nobody. I mean, you rap about stuff like that.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Trey, what was that line you said? Remain from violence, the gentle giant. That's what it did. That's Branden. That was one of his. I don't know why I remember that. That was not a good story either with no details. See, you don't give detail. I'm trying.
No, for me, it goes on forever. I've learned so much because he gives me all of the names.
What do you think about the P. Diddy situation? Go, Branden. Oh my God. Oh my God. Tell us everything that's going on.
Shit, I don't know. That shit's crazy.
But Cassie in court this week.
Oh, is it? See,
Yeah.
Like,
She told me everything.
Man, shit, like the past few months or whatever, that's all that would fucking pop up on my YouTube. Like,
I ain't watched it. I was waiting for the end of it to watch it all at once.
Did he?
I was waiting till the end of it to watch it all at once, but I know she's been in court this week or some bullshit.
That dang P. Diddy trailer that we did got.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't successful by any means. None of my videos are, but it's one of the best ones I've gotten done so far. It's like got view wise.
I'm trying to help you. I'm gonna try to help you on my Snapchat.
Like a long form video. Yeah, good.
Let's see what we got on Snapchat this week.
Edited that one so well.
Yeah,
it was
good.
very well put together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that was like
shoulder.
it really was.
Yeah.
Okay. It's talking about it like that roast video that we done. I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh my
That's how
God.
to figure it out. She said, what I'm gonna do is just make it short.
Very short.
Do the jokes.
Yeah.
Because dude, the funniest thing I've done is there's a clip of me falling asleep back there, playing the joke, and I'm gonna put that in the video pointing the air at me.
Yeah.
Because I clearly fall asleep. Y'all are just sitting there talking and writing jokes. I'm over there like,
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna need 10 more minutes.
Yeah, and my favorite joke that I said though was Brandon's got black kids, but no EBT. Thus, he's lazier than a black guy.
I thought that was a good one. I did. That made me laugh.
I'm not a racist, but when you tell jokes, you can do stuff like that.
You can.
And I don't remember neither one of y'all's jokes.
All right, thank you. I won. I
You
still
did
won.
What's something about his skinny pants?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Skinny jeans.
Trying to keep
And I
it
never
sweet.
did get to hear Brandon's.
Brandon wrote
Or
short
no,
jokes.
Brandon wrote something. I don't know what he said. He said something.
Well, Kelly wrote the one that hit me the hardest with me. Is that Trey recycles women. I really,
You do. You do. Yeah. I said rotate. Yeah, you did ones.
I said, Trey, you're going back to the same ones. You go forward, not backwards. Always forward, never back.
Nobody opening the arms in front of me.
You're not presenting yourself though to go anywhere.
I'm not.
Go to the
Every
grocery
time
store.
I
Go
go
to,
to these ones, they just came back.
well, go to the gym.
Or wait, just wait.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, just wait on them. Just chill.
I am. I am not dating nobody.
I didn't say you was.
Okay.
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying. You go back.
Oh, let's get the conversation off Trey. Let's go Dre to somewhere else. Dre has a lot going on that he does not care to talk about right now.
That's another shot.
That is a whole show by itself, especially
Yeah.
especially after court. When court's done, then I'm willing to talk about a bunch of stuff. But like,
I want to talk about the
about the what? Oh no. So let's keep that off of me. Let's talk about Ashley for a second. Branden Ashstar in his picture. It's like Trey, I got a UFO. It's such great detail.
Oh, it does. Look. No, it's not great.
Shut
detail.
up.
I never said it was great detail, bro.
She said you never see his flying saucer. Look at that.
No, I said shade.
No, let's see their general reaction.
Okay, hold the fuck on. Let me find it. Ronnie reacted to it. He seen it in the sky. So it wasn't just me.
I mean, he's got a good one. I don't know. You ain't got any weird. Did you see something weird in your life?
I mean, I did. I mean, but they were obviously drones, but they're overcowered. Like, whenever I was driving back to my sister's house, they're like huge and they like hover like right in the same spot.
Right.
It's on like the next street over or whatever, but like, I was like, what the? I have you know what? I do have a picture that I took of a tornado following up, like right standing on
tornadoes.
That's in Iowa.
Have you been in tornadoes?
I mean, I've been. I mean, they've never hit my house or anything, but I have this photo of a tornado that I
Look at
took
that.
right off my porch.
It's not clear. I got to zoom the fuck in. But look at that. It was in the sky and it moved.
That could be fucking anything. Anna.
It could be. But you see where I'm getting at, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can see this.
Don't make me sound crazy.
But
No, crazy.
She's got a way cooler picture.
Yeah, of course she does. It's a funnel cloud. But
That's a video.
Yeah,
It reminds me-
yeah, I was standing on my porch.
when you had it zoomed in there, it kind of reminds me.
That's legit.
I just thought it was that bad. I was like, well, that's a tornado.
What?
Yeah.
Porch. Are you standing there watching?
Oh, you remember how they said it was like a little tic tac?
Yeah.
I was like, hey,
On the Congress thing? It was a little tic tac.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a tornadoes in the
I don't know. I got video of
Yeah,
it.
tornadoes, yeah, in the Midwest. Yeah.
It'd be like this.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh shit. Well, it's over at the mall, so I was like, I think I'm fine for now. But
So how far away?
Was there a siren going off or anything?
it was probably like 2 miles. Yeah, probably. And
It's like,
everybody
right here.
in Iowa also has basements, so it's like, okay, kids, let's get to the basement. And there's
Oh, yeah, not everybody has them here.
It's like nobody has them here.
Yeah.
A basement. And I was like, that's a home on top of a home.
That is scary to us. Ain't that fucking? We have hurricanes. We're like, it's just a hurricane that spits off tornadoes.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a tornado.
Yeah, and
I've seen one tornado.
Yeah,
It was over the ocean. It's the funnel clouds over the ocean.
the hurricanes you get warnings about like in advance.
Right.
And they're named.
Yeah, if it's real bad, till you get the fuck out. That's right.
Yeah.
That shit right here is like.
Yeah, this appears out of nowhere.
Right, right. This is how
And
the
it
shit
just
started.
sits down and then
Look
my
at
mom,
that, right?
I see it.
Okay, that's how the shit started that night. You see how it's got trails, right?
It's awesome.
When
Yeah.
did you film that?
She took pictures.
Actually, when did you tell that? A couple weeks ago?
The other night.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, Trey, remember I told you that?
Yeah, I told her.
Yeah, you know about that.
My son, weird shit. This guy, actually just never. She has a video camera, the best video camera on that phone. She never takes a video of it.
I got videos. I got videos too, but I was showing you pictures.
I don't care to see the pictures.
Fuck off, Trey.
Videos.
Because the video is not as good as the pictures. I can't zoom in as
I'll
good.
tell you what, that shit she's got pretty damn good. You better be good to beat out.
Well, Branden, here's the great detail about Branden. Let Branden talk. Tell them the story about that shit with Andrea and your daughter. When they came back to your house, shit, you saw the camera. This is like months ago.
Yeah,
Like
a while back. Whenever,
maybe a half a year ago or a year ago.
that was when I first moved in over there at Trailer.
Well, yeah, when you and No Name just split. Okay, go ahead.
Shit. Yeah, man. I was there at the house, and I think I got dropped off. I think I went to a game. I think my other daughter was at like a cheer. She was cheering or whatever for a game. So I went. I got home. They dropped me off. They left and started heading towards the house. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was gone. About 5-10 minutes later, I hear boom, 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 boom. There's knocking at the door. So I came running to the door like, "Whoa, what's wrong? What's wrong?" They come in like, you know what I'm saying, like super like hyped up, and was like, "Oh, we just seen something. We just seen something in the sky." And it was like following us. And I was like, "What y'all talking about? Y'all seen something in the sky?" So she was trying to describe it to me, and she was like, "It's like a light." And you know what I'm saying? I was like, "What, it wasn't an airplane or a helicopter or a drone?" She was like, "No." She's like, "I got it on my phone." So she recorded it. And so she was showing it to me or whatever, and it looked crazy. But then we walked outside, and right before they went to leave, we seen it again. But it was like a light, and it kind of looked like a star, but way closer than what a star would be. But then it was like moving, and it had like the only way I could describe it, it was like a light illuminating out of it, right? And it was going. It was like it looked like it was spraying out, like you know what I'm saying? But it was illuminated, so it was lit up like a glow, like a white glow off of it. But it wasn't spraying behind it like like an exhaust or the the chemtrails and nothing like that. It was spraying in front of it in an angle while it was going this direction. You know what I'm saying? And it just it was going by kind of slow, and we was watching it. We was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And by the time it got over the people's house that lives across the street from me, well, not over it, but it was still back kind of in the field from where it would have been at. It got about right there, and then that bitch said, and then it just took the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? And she got the thing on film, like she got a good video of it. Like you can see it.
I had a buddy of mine tell me that one of his girls had a video. She put it on YouTube of something spraying out light over Walmart. And I never saw the video, but I've heard a lot of that.
How come I can get that good of a picture of the moon, but that little light and all the little lights in the sky, I can't zoom in on like that?
I don't know, actually. I don't know.
Take a picture of the moon. It's great.
Yeah.
Do you have an Android or?
Android. Yeah. Galaxy 24.
Yeah, that's a story in great. That's a story in great detail. Actually, see stuff in the sky all the time.
I mean, I don't think
I've seen stuff in the sky at one time, and now I can't. I can tell you story, but I can't explain it. I've never done a video explaining it, like telling people what I saw. But I saw that, and I saw it not by myself. I've seen that, but I didn't see it by myself.
Well, I don't trust your other.
Well,
I'm saying
yeah.
I
check
wouldn't.
batteries again, Branden. But that was a scare. That's scary. The one I saw, and I don't mind. Mine's simple. Mine's I was going to David Goby's in King Street, which is a guy. And I say his first last name. He's dang gone. Rest in peace. I was helping pretty much take care of the man because he was a Yankee.
Oh,
I
probably knew him.
He was very rude. But
he did come up with he didn't mean to come up.
But he didn't mean to come. I ended up being.
I love Mr. David.
I formed a friendship with that man. But I was pretty much taking care of the guy because he didn't know nobody.
Okay, get to the point.
Well, my story is for weeks, like about a couple months, I would get off at Walmart. I was working at Walmart at the time, and I'd get off. It got to the point where I had to go and help this man get to the bathroom twice a day. He lived 30 minutes away. So I'd go before I went to work, and I'd go after I get off work. Sometimes I have Ashley, sometimes I have another friend of mine, a girl, go and help me. Well, the other girl, I didn't realize this until after. I'll tell you how it is. On the way up there, back and forth, I didn't notice what I was seeing. The first real memory of seeing something weird was the girl B. I'll say her B. She stopped right beside a tower. And it's still daylight on the way to David's house. She said, "Trey, look out, look up." And I stuck my head out and looked up above the car, and there was a drone up there, right like at the top of the radio tower or phone tower. And I didn't think nothing of it at the time, which makes no sense. I don't know why. Because the size of it should have been like the size of a freaking car, being that high up. Didn't pay no attention to her. It was a drone. She looked at me like I was crazy and just left. Like I acted like it was normal. I don't know why I did it that day. I must have been, my mind was somewhere else. Anyway, on the way back, it was like 12:30 at night one night. I was on the way back to Walmart to work third shift because I got off of Walmart, went and took care of David on the way back. And on the way back on 52, out of nowhere, something just appeared and shot towards the ground on the other side. And I thought it was a comment or something about to hit the ground and explode. So it happened that fast, but it just disappeared. No sound, no nothing. And left 2 green light trails. And we just kept driving. And it scared the shit out of me. Like, I was freaking out. And she's like, "Trey, must have been a shooting star." I'm like, "Bitch, ain't no shooting star." Because it was a perfectly round ball. And she said, the smartest thing I've ever heard this girl say, she says, "Once you admit to seeing something like that, you'll keep seeing it." And she wasn't lying. Because I saw these drone things flying around, like, all the time out there at King Street that were not regular drones. And I saw that for a long time until when Mr. David died. But that was the craziest thing, is like, it just shot. And I'm putting it as the same thing. I'm assuming it's one of them drones because it left them 2 green light trails. Those are 2 lights. You know, it makes sense for it to be 2 lines. That was 2 lights. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what that was. A friend of mine out there that lives in the same area as Cades, I give him credit. He's not big online or nothing, but I told him about the story, and he said, "Trey, out here, I've seen some weird shit." And he told me, he said, "One day I heard my daughter yell outside. She was outside burning trash, and I come outside and run out there to her because I thought it was, an animal or something." She points, and I turn and look on top of his dough wide, and there's something on top of his dough wide, and he said it just shot up in the sky. And that's weird too. But he told me that straight serious. Me and this man here, Branden Best, done been in my car, driving them to this house around this curve, and something lands on the hood of my car. Like a bang.
Yeah.
And I pull in this yard and we get out and there's a big ass dent in the top of my car.
Like somebody.
He, brave as hell, runs down the road to go see if there's a log or a limb in the road and there's nothing there.
Like, yeah, I assumed that the only thing I could think about, like, a limb maybe fell out the tree that we was passing under. And I was like, man, it had to be something. And I just wanted to see some type of evidence of something that would have made sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that shit was crazy, man. I ain't seen nothing.
Shoot.
You see them lights?
I haven't had a whole lot of
Supernatural shit?
No, well, I've had a lot of paranormal stuff.
I always hear your paranormal story.
I haven't had paranormal stuff.
Well, in my house in Iowa, it was built in 1925, and whenever we were, our realtor was this old white gentleman. When he was taking us into the house, I was like, "John, is there any paranormal activity in this house?" And he was like, "I don't know what you're talking," anyway, he didn't know of anything. But anyway, so the spirits that we had in that house, there was 2 of them. And
okay, so what?
The spirits that were in that house, there were 2 of them.
So 2 of them.
Okay.
So one of them was a little girl, and I found out about her because when my oldest 2 kids were little, so my son was 4, and he told me he was like born an old man, and he was always exhausted. And when he started going to like kindergarten, he would come home and he would be like, "I'm so tired. Kindergarten is so hard," and he'd sleep until it was time until I fed him dinner, and then he'd go back to sleep. And so one day he was sitting on the couch and he just looks at me and he goes, "Mama, can you tell the little girl upstairs I can't play today?" And then I was like, "What?"
4-year-old son told you this.
Yes. And so my daughter was 5 at the time. And I was like, "You're talking about Kirsten?" He goes, "Not my sister." And he goes, "The little girl that's always sits at the top of the stairs and wants us to play with her all the time." He goes, "Can you please just tell her I'm too tired today and that I can't play, please, because she's going to want me to play." And then I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
But yeah, so that, and I would hear, okay, so if I was doing laundry.
That's just something your kid told you. You never saw nothing.
Well, but whenever I'd be in the laundry room, at night, if I was at the laundry room at night, I would hear, and on multiple occasions, I heard a child like crying for mama, like crying mama. And I'd always run upstairs, and all my kids would be dead asleep. Like it was.
Sure, it just wasn't your mom playing tricks on you, though.
Well, and I don't know. I mean, that's what I try to convince myself. Like
That's what I always convince myself of. If I ever, I'd just be like, my mom's just playing tricks on me.
Well, tell you, man, I've seen some weird shit too, though.
And my son, when he was 2, my youngest, whenever he was 2, we went to the cemetery to visit my ex-husband. His mother had passed away before I ever met him, and so we were going to her gravesite, and we had our boys with us. And so yeah, my youngest was 2.5, and he had brain surgery when he was 10 weeks old.
You know what? Son had brain surgery when he was 10 weeks old?
Yeah, he was born, and he was my 5th baby, so I kind of could tell pretty early that, like, when he was around 2 weeks, at 5 weeks, his head wasn't taking on like a normal shape, like it was elongated. He had sagittal craniosynostosis, and that's where there's a suture in your skull fuses, and it shouldn't.
What's a suture?
So like your skull
finishes sealing when you're born, after you're born.
Yeah, so none of your sutures in your skull, because you get older.
What is a suture? I don't know that.
So it's the thing that kind of holds your bones together. So it allows your head to keep growing, so your brain can keep growing as you get older. And so some of the sutures close, but none of them should ever fuse. And he had this. Hey, baby.
We're learning about sutures.
So he had this bony ridge on the top of his head. That's like because his sagittal suture fused. And so what they had to do is they had to take it. It was probably like a third of his skull. They had to take it out and then do biparietal remodeling of his head, so that way his skull would grow normally, and that way his brain wasn't being
That's crazy.
under pressure or
I
whatnot.
don't know how you deal with that.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of PTSD from that. I'll show you guys pictures. We were in the hospital at the University of Iowa for like weeks. But anyway, so it was that son that had that.
And had a successful surgery or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so we were at the cemetery, and he looks up at me, and
and he's at the age of
2, a little over. He's 2.5.
Okay.
So the gravesite we were going to, his mom was like a row away from like the tree line. And so we were over there, and he goes, "Mama, look at all those people." And he goes, "I'm going to go play with them." And then he starts running into these trees. And then I was like, "What?" And so I'm following him. And then he's running, and then he stops, and he goes, "Well, that's a bad one." And he turns around, and he starts running out. And so I'm following him. And then he points down to this grave that's like a little bit down the row. And she had a bench, like with her headstone. And so he wanted to go. He was like, "Oh, let's go see her." And then he went and sat on the bench, and he goes, "She was a nice lady." And then he looks up, and he has never been to the cemetery before. I only ever been to this one specific part of the cemetery, because that's the only person we know buried there. So about 2 football fields away, so way on the other side, all of a sudden he stands up and he goes, "Mama, look at all those babies. Let's go hold those babies." He goes, "I want to hold the purple one." And he just takes off, and I'm following him, and I was like, "What babies?" And he goes, "All those babies under that tree, Mama." And then I'm following him, and my husband and my other boys are, also following. And by the time we get over there, which you couldn't see from where we were at, I found out it was where the nursery of the cemetery was. Like that's where he took us. He was like, "Look at all those babies. I want to hold the purple one." And then he runs over and he goes, "You see all these babies?" And it was the part of the cemetery, and only babies were born there. It was the nursery part of the cemetery.
That's crazy. They had that there?
Yes. Yep. And so, and only babies that were, there was babies, twins that, lived a couple months or a couple days. But it looked like all the babies, it looks like, were under 6 months old when they died, but from several decades. And that was the act. And a lot of
there's no way that he could have known that, and not all knew that.
No.
I was gonna say, well, here we don't have all our babies like buried at,
Yep. So it's like the nursery.
We don't have just like a nursery part of the cemetery, here.
And so, he wouldn't have known that it was. I didn't know it was there.
I would never thought.
I'm all right. since we're talking paranormal, I'm gonna let Branden get the mic one more time because we ain't recorded this. Go ahead and tell that one. You got that one paranormal story you told me
at my brother's house.
at your brother's house.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell just recorded just because you ain't never said it on camera.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell this one because this one's wild too.
Yeah, this was crazy. So we was we had to this was whenever my nephews was like really small, like babies or whatever. We had to come over there and watch them because my brother was working out of town, and his wife had just started the job where she was working nights. So we came over there that evening to babysit for the kids, and we had Natalia with us, and she was, you know, an arm baby too, you know what I'm saying, real small. And so
that's a junior girl and Natalia.
Yeah. And so we went over there to babysit, and we was staying in what would have been Haley's room, but Haley wasn't there. It was just the boys and Tally. And so we was in there, and
so the only people in the house was you
and
your girl at the time and your
my
baby.
2 nephews.
And your 2 nephews.
Yeah. And so we was in there, and so earlier that day, the first thing that was kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? I was holding Natalia, and it's like, I think I had just changed her or something like that. And I went to pick her up, and she was fine. She was in good spirits all day long until we walked in the room to change. And, you know what I'm saying? She was still in good spirits. And whenever I picked her up, she was sitting there just kind of, you know, just looking around and just, you know, doing as a baby would do. And then all of a sudden, like, while she was holding me, she was kind of upright with me. So she had her hands around my shoulder and was kind of looking behind me. And when she did, she like, you could feel her tense up like she got scared or something. And then she was like, and she started screaming and crying. And she kept hiding her face like in my shoulder right here. You know what I'm saying? It was like this right here, but she would keep like peeking out and then like cry again, like, you know what I'm saying? Like she was hiding for something. And so I was saying like, what, baby? I was like, there's nothing there. What's wrong? What's wrong? You know, just, you know, trying to, you know, calm her down and stuff. And as I, you know, it was scaring me too, you know what I'm saying? Just because of the way she was seeing it. And so, you know, I got her calmed down and everything, you know what I'm saying? So we didn't think too much of it, but it was kind of crazy. So later on, about bedtime, we got Natalia to sleep, and we got the boys put to sleep. They was in their room, and we was down like one room over, and you know, in our room we had the baby monitors in there, and you know, everything was good for about, you know what I'm saying, we was in there probably a couple hours or whatever before we went to sleep, and then all of a sudden I heard on the baby monitor it sounded like organ music, like funeral home organ music type. And I was like, what the fuck? And in my mind, I was thinking like maybe an alarm clock came on and it was just on some crazy ass channel or something. And I was like, you know, I jumped up like scared that the boys was going to wake up, you know what I'm saying? Cause it was time for bed and I was about to get, you know, go to sleep. So I jumped up to go like turn whatever that was off, you know what I mean? Whatever came on. And whenever I got in there, you know, wasn't playing no more. So I came back in the room and it quit playing on the monitor. She said, it stopped about the time you walked out the door. And so a few seconds later, it started playing again. And so I run back down there again. And by that time, it stopped again. And I came back and it was still playing on the thing. She was like, it played the whole time this time. And so, all right. So we was, you know, kind of freaking out about that a little bit. A little period of time right after that, a few minutes later, I went to the bathroom, or I was going to the bathroom. And as I was walking through the kitchen, the light was out and, you know, everything was kind of dark. But whenever I heard like, it sounded like a trash can full of soda cans, empty soda cans or whatever. And it sounded like somebody took it and just like slung it on the floor, you know what I'm saying? Like you could hear it, like felt like it was all around me, you know what I mean? And in my mind, I'm thinking maybe something just fell, you know what I'm saying? I done kicked up or something done, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I came out the door, I turned the light on real quick, looking around. I didn't see nothing on the floor. I walked around in the house, like, you know what I'm saying, trying to see what the fuck fell down or something. And, you know what I'm saying, something just got overbalanced or whatever. I couldn't find anything that seemed like it would have made that noise, you know what I mean? And, but yeah, that was, that was.
And y'all still stay there that night?
Yeah, we ended up staying there through that night. And needless to say, we didn't go back over there to babysit. I think the next couple of times, I think they brought them over to where we were staying at.
But it was all just heard on the baby monitor?
I heard that was heard on the baby monitor. But like the shit with Tally, I don't know what she saw.
Yeah.
Like, it was just the chain of events that happened along with it.
Right.
It was so weird, you know what I mean?
Right. I just didn't know if it was like one of those baby monitors that's on Wi-Fi and sometimes the wire.
You're saying there's something in the kitchen when he was walking through.
Yeah, it sounded like fucking cans, like somebody just took a trash can full of them and said.
I actually saw the spirit of the second person that was in my house in Iowa.
Okay, well, let's go with that.
Because so for years I called him Eunice because I'd asked the girl that lived there before if they ever had anything weird because it was a playful spirit. Like it would just move shit.
Okay, so let me ask you, do you believe in this stuff?
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly? Okay.
Well, if she's seen it, I would.
Yeah. So then, so it was always just like playful, like harmless stuff. You like moving things around and
You
stuff.
can't get a bad feeling.
Right. No bad.
No bad
vibes.
energy.
No, nothing like that. And so, but I did ask the girl that had lived there before. I was like, "Did you ever experience any paranormal activity when you were living at the house?" And she goes, "Oh, do you mean Eunice?" And I was like. And she goes, we always thought it was Eunice. We called her Eunice because it was the lady that lived there before them. And she had passed away in a nursing home, but they were still getting her mail. And so they just kind of thought maybe it was Eunice because she lived there for years and years. So I always called this person Eunice. Like whenever I couldn't find something, I'd be like, okay, Eunice. And then I think that one day he got tired of being called Eunice. And I was in my daughter's bedroom and I looked up and standing in the doorway is this so it was like a gray hazy like image apparition of a man in it was like a 1920s like mobster suit kind of looking with like the hat and everything
yep.
and he was just standing there and he was like as big as the doorway, very tall man, and he was just like there and then he was just like gone. And it was almost like he was like, stop calling me Eunice, bitch. And so then I started calling him Frank after that, because I was like, okie doke. And then there was a few times where I would be laying in bed and my ex and I were divorced at that time. So there was a lot of time where I was like by myself in the house. And it was 2 stories. So when I would be in my bedroom, all of a sudden I could hear like heavy footsteps coming up the steps, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" But like I knew it wasn't an actual person. Like I could tell that I was like, "That's not a person." Yep. And so I was laying in bed, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I was like, and then like it was like consistent, like up, like climbing up the stairs, and then all of a sudden it was like way past the number of stairs that my house even has, because I was counting, and I was like 17. What is he? And he was just like he was just kept.
But you've seen this thing now.
But I did see him, yeah.
Where'd he go?
I mean, he's probably still there.
I ain't never seen nothing like that.
So, because what I think, I talked to because I think sad to think like of a soul being trapped, like someplace, because like if they're at your house, then does that mean they weren't able to cross over? Are they like stuck there? But somebody else kind of gave me their theory, and I latched onto that, and I was like, I think that that's right. I think that that's what it is. So it's like when a spirit leaves, they leave some residual energy. So you know how like every time you hear of like a haunted place, it's like, and then if you go there at midnight, you'll always see this old lady but it's like the same behavior that people like see or witness over and over. It's because I think that people leave a little bit of their energy. So it's kind of like a little photograph, but it's like on a what's it?
Loop.
A loop.
That's why they're see-through.
Yep. And that's why, that's why,
translucent, whatever you want.
and that's why it's the same behavior that people are seeing. So it's like
Makes
a little
sense.
bit of them. So it's not them. It's not their spirit. Their spirit has moved on and crossed over. It's just a little bit. It's like a little energy that they left behind. And maybe it was like the energy that they were most known for. Like, if it's your mother or whatever, and like you always hear like, a certain old TV show on or something, like late at night. It's usually like the same type of behavior that people are hearing or witnessing. And I think it's just because it's like the energy, a little energy left behind of that spirit. And that makes me feel a lot better instead of thinking about somebody not being able to like cross over, like that they're trapped.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know about crossing over. I think when you're dead, you're dead. I don't know. And I won't know because I'll be dead.
Or you'll then know.
I have a heart. Like I can feel my heart.
Yes.
They say we have a soul.
Yes.
I can't feel my soul.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a brain. I know that's there.
Mhm.
You can't tell me where my soul's at.
Yeah, I guess I believe in reincarnation, so I
Well, you
believe
get it as the energy. You
that.
got some. I mean, that's all soul is. Probably is energy.
I don't think.
that's all
I mean, I don't know what a soul is. I think that's just something that help people cope
It's
better
based on
with
your
death.
values, based on how you were raised, religion wise.
Well, I mean, I was raised Christian. I was
raised.
I was sprinkled.
So there's God.
Well, so my oldest son, whenever the one that told me about the little girl that was upstairs, he also talked about past lives on accident. Like, didn't know that that's what he was doing. Because I do believe in reincarnation. And
That's one that makes much sense to me.
he was telling me, like, one time we were in the car and he was 4, again, 4 or 5, like little, and he was not a lot. He's a very quiet kid, like very well behaved. And we just saw a little kid on a bike, and he goes, "Oh, mom, I remember having." He goes, "That little boy has a helmet on. That's good." And I was like, "Yep." And he goes, "Because you should never ride a bike without a helmet." And I was like, "That's right, buddy." And he goes, "Because I remember whenever I used to be a different Jacob." And he goes, "I had a different mom and a different dad, and I was riding my bike without a helmet on, and a car hit me, and I died, and my parents were really sad. And so you always have to wear a helmet." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. But so that was crazy. And then another time, he told me because
maybe it's the altitude up there.
I don't know. I mean, altitude different. We're on a mountain or
That wasn't a one.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, but radon I know is in the soil and that causes cancer. But I'm sure there's environmental things.
Let me hold on.
And then
Go ahead.
the second thing that he told me that was related to a different past life, because he slept in my bed with me. Well, then I got pregnant with my third, and my belly was getting so big, and kids kick and whatever. And I was like, "Jacob, honey, why don't you sleep in your own bed? Like, we move in the house, and I can get your room, and why don't you?" And he goes, "Okay." And he goes, "It's just that I get scared." And I was like, "Why, baby?" And he goes, "Well, when I was a different Jacob," and he goes, "I was a little girl Jacob." He goes, "I was a little girl Jacob, and I was sleeping in my bed, and a man opened my window and took me away, and I never saw my mom again." And he goes, "But I was a different Jacob. I was a girl Jacob then, Mom." And he goes, and Kirsten wasn't my sister, and I had a brother. And he goes, "But I never saw my mom again, and he goes, so I just get scared." And I was like, "Oh, you can sleep." Like,
That reminds me of the
Very creative habit.
that reminds me of the whole theory of the different dimensions. Like we're still the same in different dimensions.
Oh wow, are you going out there?
Yeah, I'm just saying that reminds me of what that goes to.
Or he could have been super smart and he's like, I'm fucking home.
Yeah,
I mean, either way it worked.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was little, I had a very active imagination. Like I could sit there and pretend all day long.
Yeah, I have my drama.
I used to have the same dream like over and over again as a kid. But I haven't had it since I was a kid.
I feel like I'm
remember it.
soul.
I can remember.
You ever be dreaming and know you're dreaming and take over like start flying or something? You ever do that?
Oh my god, that's never been able
I
to
love it when that happens.
That's the first step.
Do you have to swim? Do you have to swim to fly?
Kind of.
Dude, I have to swim. No, I have to swim to fly.
It's like
You don't have to like do like that.
Dude, that's the only way. It's like you just go for a second.
lunge and go on.
Yeah, like
I never actually had it all the way up.
dude, I'm gonna tell y'all a dream. Okay, I was in a castle type place, wearing a fruit, and Heather, I'm just gonna drop that name, was in the dream with me. And dude, I remember looking through a light socket and seeing a fire, and then this whole place is on fire, and there's this guy chasing me out of nowhere. Well, in a dream, every dream I'm in, no matter what, I can't swing, I can't fight, and it feels like a
Right? Yeah,
so I'm having to run from this guy, and I know that. Well, halfway through running from this guy and realizing I can't swing, I'm like, "Trey, you're dreaming, honestly." So I get out of the castle and I go straight to flying. And I'm like, so I go straight to swimming, knowing this I have to get out. So I'm sitting and I go, okay, I'm getting away. And I look, and the guy chasing me is swimming like this dude trying to chase me. I bust out laughing, and that's what wakes me up. It's me laughing like, this dude's. The fact I looked up and the guy's sitting there doing the same thing, trying to chase me.
Have y'all ever died in your dreams?
No.
They say that there's that myth.
I have, I believe,
I've-
once.
I'll tell you what I have had, like, most of the time when you're dreaming like falling or something, you wake up right before you hit the ground. I've actually hit the ground and felt like I felt it, but when I woke up, it was like something else, but it was like, I don't know, it was like,
maybe like a door slammed or something, but it was like whenever the thud hit, like it felt like that's whenever like I hit the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all want to hear me talk about sleep paralysis?
Oh my God, yes, and I'll tell you about my
I've only had that
experience.
one time.
Okay,
It's horrible. It's
okay,
horrible.
okay. Sleep paralysis is something I have dealt with my entire life.
That is.
And then it's very, and then okay. So I can remember far back as in high school having my head on it. Okay, having my head on the desk, and it all of a sudden you can't move. You can hear everything going around, I remember people laughing at me because every time I'm in sleep paralysis, and I realize I'm in sleep paralysis, I have to try to jerk myself to get out of it, and because it's first of all it's harder to breathe. You have to concentrate on breathing, and you can't move, but you're jerking yourself. And I remember jerking out of it, and then you're just like, wait, so you'll be sitting there like, and then all of a sudden you're out of it. Okay, sleep paralysis, what I've learned on the internet, happens to most people, almost all people, when they are waking up in the mornings or something. It never happened to me. It's always when I'm going to sleep.
Really?
At night, every time, every single time. Like my dad was he drank a lot. He's an alcoholic. And I even asked my mom about if my dad ever spoke about sleep paralysis because that might be the reason why he drank. Because it happened to me a lot. It don't happen to me that much now, but there was a period in my life a couple years ago where it was happening to me every night. And
That's why you would drink.
And I would drink to pass out because if I didn't, if I was sober, no matter what, I could lay my head down at lunch, just take a nap, and then I'll go instantly into it. But they call it having a hag on your back because people say they see demons and stuff.
Yes.
One time, and this is only one time, and I believe you're in a state of halfway dreaming and halfway not. Because what it is your body goes to sleep and your brain's still active. And one time I was in a house, and this is when me and the baby mama just split up. No. Me and the baby mama hadn't even met yet. I had Asia. Asia was my pit bull, and she was in the bed with me. And all of a sudden, I went into sleep paralysis. I'm like, shit. And I was there trying to yank myself up to get up. But this time, sometimes you can catch it with your eyes halfway open or something. Or at least for my case, a lot of people happens to them when they wake up, so their eyes are fully open. Mine, no, it never happened like that. But this time, my eyes was kind of open, so I could kind of see, or I might be halfway dreaming or whatever. But one time, this fucking growl, it shook me to my core. It felt like it shook the whole bedroom at the foot of my feet, and it scared me so fucking bad. I didn't even try to shake and get up no more. I just lay there, scared to fucking death until I just fucking woke up. But that's the only time I ever heard anything because they say like the hag will be on your back and it'll feel like a demon's holding you down. Yep. I always felt to me like I was literally stuck. Like my body went to sleep and my brain ain't asleep yet. Every time. But it's happened to me thousands and thousands of times. It was for about 2 or 3 years there, it was normal life. Like for me to experience that.
That's awful.
One time at work, Chad Cox, rest his soul, he's dead and gone. I went to sleep in this hammock at lunch and I started shaking because I was trying to get out of it. And I could hear Chad say, Trey, get the hell up or I'm about to call the ambulance. Like, he was freaking out. Like, and I'm sitting there like, don't call the ambulance. And shake, in my mind, shake, just yank me, just shake me. That's all you gotta do is just shake me and I wake up. And his dog came and jumped on me and woke me up. And that's when I realized that what I was hearing and stuff was real life. Yeah. That I wasn't in a dream.
Yeah, I've only had it twice, and it was fucking horrible. And it was in the morning, and it did feel like it felt like there was like a demonic presence, almost like an evil, like trying to lay down on my chest, And my eyes, like one of them, well, both times, I guess, my eyes were open, and like I could see like my husband beside me, but like I couldn't speak, I couldn't move anything.
You try to shout,
and I'm just like, oh my God, and then it feels like something's just like eminently, the impending doom, this creepy feeling.
You just can't move. It's like all you can do is jerk. All you can do is jerk.
I couldn't do that. Like my body would, and it felt like I was sinking into the mattress, and it was just like, it felt like, it was horrible. And both times I just closed my eyes and forced myself to go back to sleep.
One person, I think it was Amber, told me, she's like, Trey, why don't you just go on to sleep? If you wake up like that and you know your body's asleep, why don't you just? But it's like it's so fucking terrifying. You're scared to do that.
Yeah, the adrenaline.
You're scared. You want to get up. And only thing I learned on the internet was get up, walk around, maybe have something to eat. And that's what I had. That's what I didn't know. Every time I had, because if I come out of it and I wake up like, oh, I'm out. If I lay, I'll go straight back into it. So I always had to get up and walk around. I'm talking about y'all. I'm talking about. I'm almost a professional. I'm almost a professional at sleep paralysis. I'm telling you, it's scary.
Not something.
That's why I was like I say, brain. Like my son got tested, and his teachers like. Amber came and told me, she's like, the teacher say his brain's so fast. I'm like, he's got my head. My brain does not stop moving. It doesn't stop. When I lay down and go to sleep, it ain't just like a shut off. It's like, it just doesn't fucking stop. I was like, it's talking pure exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's
I used to have that problem. I don't even
But sleep, for some reason, I don't know why, sleep paralysis don't really affect me no more. It doesn't happen. I can't tell you the last time it's happened. But it used to be a daily thing. It was a thing where when I was in the camper, I was scared to sleep in the camper by myself.
Yeah, I even called you when I went off with somebody, and Trey called me, and he was like,
that was happening a lot back then. And I
was I was supposed to stay with him that night, but I got somebody to come get me, and I stopped by Trey's, and he didn't have no Wi-Fi that night, no nothing to keep him occupied, so it was just Trey and his thoughts.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, and I called him and I was like, you want me to FaceTime you, buddy? I'm not coming all the way back there, but I will if you want me to. But really, I wasn't going to go back.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Well, I mean, I called you and FaceTimed you instead of hanging with my dude that I was with.
You know, I hadn't really thought about that in a long time, but I'm happy that that's something. I mean, it doesn't happen no more. It used to happen. It used to happen all the time.
Because I love sleeping, love it.
I do too. I can sleep for 10
Yes, you do so much that you freaking moan in your sleep.
I don't know.
The only person I'm telling you, Ashley, I walked in. Branden told me she moans in her sleep, and I walked in there, and she's sleeping there, and she's like, I'm like, damn, she does. She's just enjoying the fuck out of it.
I love sleeping. So to have something that would make me dread sleep, like the sleep paralysis to the extent that you had it, like you would.
I don't know how you sleep paralysis though.
Yeah, you can't move. I was going to sleep, and all of a sudden, I can't move my body. And while I'm going to, my body went to sleep.
How do you know
your body was studying this shit. What I've learned is when you're in the process of going to sleep, your body, your brain sends, dopamine and all that stuff, but your brain also sends a chemical through your muscles to help you not jerk when you're dreaming. That way, when something happens in your dream, you're not jerking, and it kind of tranquilizes you. So when your brain's like, okay, we're going to sleep, it sends that shit out to your body. And now you can't fucking move, but then my brain's like, oh, Trey, remember this? And I'm like, holy shit, I can't fucking move. You know what I mean? I kind of self-diagnosed myself that.
It's like you start becoming conscious of you.
Yeah, and then, I mean,
Is that why sometimes you would like jerk so bad, and then you wake up and won't remember a damn thing? Or you'd be like scared looking in the camper? Because I'd be on a beanbag, you'd be on the couch, and like you all of a sudden just... You like gasp and jerk.
Yeah, man. I've had a couple.
Because it would scare me.
A couple people tell me that. Well, it's another thing I remember. Every time it happened, I have to concentrate, breathe in, breathe out. Because it's like you normally just breathe. It's like when that's happening, and your brain realizes, holy shit, I'm awake, and I guess that's not a normal thing. I guess it's like it forgets to breathe. You know what I mean? So I had to concentrate, breathe in and out. That's what really made it scary. Cause,
it would scare me because I thought I didn't know what was going on, and
But only one time did I hear something. I think I kind of write it off as I was dreaming, maybe. But it was always the same. It became normal life where shit, I'm halfway asleep. I call it halfway asleep. I gave it a name, and I had to shake myself. I shake myself, trying to jerk, and it was exhausting. It was exhausting. Like I was sitting there, and I was finally like, Jesus. Ugh. And then because it took all my energy just to try to get out of it.
I never could get out of mine. I was only in mine one time.
But it was like,
I had taken medicine.
Thousands of times.
I had taken medicine. They put me on lorazepam, and I had taken one pill, and I guess when I was waking up, but the pill was still in my system. I never took one before, and I could see Sam and Ronnie sitting over there on the couch. I was in a recliner. Had a blanket on me. Huh?
Because medication has something to do with that.
Yeah, but I couldn't move my body. I was awake. I was yelling for them. I was like yelling for them, but I wasn't opening my mouth.
I gotta, you can't open your mouth. You
try
to shout.
Yeah.
One time, and this is, I got sick. This is teenager Trey, And I remember it now. I don't remember necessarily all of this story, but I remember what I told my parents. I remember my parents telling me this. I'll tell you the parts that I do remember. I remember laying in my bed. This is paranormal shit too. But I kind of, I was on some fucking. My mama gave me some crazy ass medicine or something that night because I was not my normal self. So I write all this off to the prescription medicine I was on that I was not prescribed. But I was sick. I heard fucking Congo drums. Okay. So I'm laying in my bed, going to sleep, and I hear Congo drums like fucking Jumanji almost. And it's getting louder and louder and louder and louder. And it's scaring me. So I sit up. When I sit up in my bed, a black thing, I remember all this, circles around me. And I jump out of bed and go, now, this is what I told my parents. I don't remember all this. When I went in the living room, the damn curtains turned to eyeballs looking at me.
Yeah.
When I ran in the kitchen, I saw Osama bin Laden's head in the fucking window. Don't remember any of that. And I ran and jumped into bed and slept with my mom and dad the rest of the night. At 16, 17 years old. Like grown teenagers, scared to fucking death. I remember jumping into bed scared to death. I remember the Congo drums and the things circling around me. I don't remember all the other shit I told.
God damn, Trey.
But then I was medicated I remember that was medication to do something.
Did you ever think that when we're medicated, what if that's actual what we're supposed to see?
No, because no. Not be medicated. That's something that you put in your body that wouldn't.
Yeah, but why does our mind see those things?
What?
Technically, our eyes see those things. I mean, why do we see those things? Why do we think of those things to see?
I don't know. I ain't even talking about the werewolf thing, which I already.
I'm not talking about a werewolf. I'm talking about just any random ass thing like that. Like, why would you see Osama bin Laden in the fucking window?
I'm just telling you what my mom and dad. I told them. My mom and dad told me I seen that.
Why would your mind like make you see any of that?
I had a very creative imagination. Like I'm very creative, so like I create stuff in my brain. I can see that. I can see a child looking like her kid, saying all this stuff that her kid's seen. Because I can see myself doing that as a child. Because I had a very vivid creative imagination. That I would just make shit up, and I did that as a child. I would make shit up just to make it up, and I remember doing stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. It's like when I was young, the reason I do all the videos and make all the stuff I do, and I'm very artistic and stuff, is because I don't know if this is true or not, but when I was young, I had a very creative imagination. I was very in my brain playing in my own world. So as an adult, I can pull from that, and I just know not everybody has that.
No, you're right. I don't.
And, I mean, like I can sit here and just make a story up, you know. But as a kid, it was intensified because I didn't have no filter. I didn't care. I mean, it wasn't nothing.
I got a video of you on my phone saying something about you always want to be an actor because you're always good at telling stories.
I said I was a very good actor, and because all acting is lying, and I can lie like a motherfucker.
There you go.
There you go. That's an attribute that everybody wants.
Yeah, I got a video.
I mean, that's all it is. No, acting is like I actually got a compliment about you, Branden. I had somebody that we know I bumped into not so long ago. Actually, I was working on a job, pulled up and talked to me, and said that it specifically said that she's like, you know, she said she name dropped you, Branden, and them two girls, and I don't know if you're talking about you two or who, but it's got to be you two. She said about our skits and stuff like on my channel. And talking about how good because she don't know you and she didn't know you, but you know Shannon.
Shannon who?
I don't want to say her name up.
Your
not mine. Not anyway.
Okay.
She name dropped. It doesn't matter. So I'm not even talking about you, but she said y'all are good at it. She's like you and Branden can fucking act, and she's like getting the other girl. She's like, I ain't never seen this girl. I was like, must be Branden's girl. She's like, yeah, it's an older girl. And I was like, well, that's Branden. She said, y'all can fucking act. And I think they were specifically talking about the P. Diddy video, but I gave a compliment like that.
That's good.
I always say Branden's a great actor. That's the first thing I wanted me and Branden started doing videos together is when he the motherfucker. A lot of people can't sit there and get in front of a camera and just say. Just not worry about what people
Yeah, that's the
Just
I can't.
take
It
that
took
away.
me. How,
If you
I
can
mean,
get
how
past
long?
that part, if you just don't give a fuck what, like, you know what I'm saying, what you gonna look like or what people's gonna take you as, and you just do your shit. That's how, you know what I'm
How
saying.
You're
long
worried
did
about
you
what
do
people are
for
going to
being
think
camera
about
shy?
you. I fucking never was camera shy.
I didn't
I
know
was,
that
think,
about
I
you.
was
Though.
making videos in my whitey tighties. One of my first videos I ever made was me pretending to be Michelangelo in my whitey tighties in a double wide trailer
How
in
lame.
kindergarten, and me climbing
Michelangelo.
sewers. Michelangelo, son.
Are you talking about Ninja Turtles?
I was a Ninja Turtle.
I thought you were talking about the painter.
No, I was my white tighties. But,
I thought you were talking about
Very
the fucking
cultured.
painter.
He was
Yeah,
very-
I thought you were talking about the painter. You're talking about the fucking Ninja Turtle. Hell yeah.
I
I'm
was
an educated 5-year-old. Yeah.
Donatello's my favorite.
Oh.
I had my Ninja Turtle shirt on earlier, matter of fact.
Well, we told some stories.
Yeah.
Anything else that wants to? My camera done died again.
Go holler at your boy over there on Branden Best. Check out all the music videos by Trey J Creates.
What is your dang handle?
Branden Best. 39.99.
We went through this last time.
Branden Best. You click it, you're gonna find my videos gonna pop up.
Look us up on
somewhere
Facebook.
at
I'm
the
gonna
top.
post this on Facebook too.
It's 3966, man.
3966 probably.
3396. Hold on, it's posted on my
3699.
Snapchat.
I think it was 3966 or 3699.
It is 3396.
3396.
At Branden Best 339.
Branden Best 3396 is his YouTube.
Spell it out.
Branden with a BRANDENBEST. Holla at your boy.
You still didn't add the fucking last three. They ain't gonna find you on your YouTube.
What was it again? 3396.
Branden Best 3396 is your
3396.
YouTube channel.
That's your YouTube.
That's me.
He hasn't posted a video on it fucking forever.
Hey, but we got some shit coming because I'm about to get back there.
I should have told you to bring the thing for the Doug game.
Ah, fuck yeah,
I really want to do that video.
yeah. Y'all go check it out.
Kelly went viral already.
On accident, I don't have anything that is.
You,
I don't have
I got it on
anything that
there.
I want that I need.
I got my thing.
Oh, the video. Oh, the camera's dead. Someone take
Oh,
it.
Ronnie's about to pull up a thing.
Ronnie's about to pull up. I'm Trey J Creates. This is podcast. Yes,
Yeah.
Ashley. Ashley.
Ashley Ashstar 3434.
Yeah.
YouTube, Instagram. TikTok.
You like my Guy Fieri shirt?
No.
I say it. Holla
I
at your
can't
boy,
get that
man.
shirt. I love it.
No, I ain't. The camera's not pointing at you.
Yeah, you know what it is. It's your boy Branden Best, Trey J Creates, Kelly, and Ashley coming back at you. Holla at your boy.